As you well know, just recently, U.S. President Donald Trump pardoned several mercenaries who are guilty of carrying out the Nisour Square massacre in Iraq in 2007. This was an incident in which mercenaries, which were working for the U.S. government, carried out a killing of 17 civilians, the youngest which of being only 9 years old. Now, Donald Trump, being connected to the mercenary firm Blackwater, Z, and whatever name that they're using right now, decided to give a pardon to these individuals because, well, they essentially are those that are carrying out the war crimes of U.S. imperialism. Well, now a statement has been made that his pardoning of these soldiers may have in fact violated international law. The reason being that despite the fact that Trump can pardon them domestically, what they still did was a violation of international law, which the United States and the President of said United States does not have the ability to pardon people from crimes that they've committed against it. This was said by Jelena Arapak, the chair of a UN working group on the use of mercenaries. Pardoning the Blackwater contractors is an affront to justice and to the victims of the Nisour Square massacre and their families. Ensuring accountability for such crimes is fundamental to humanity and to the community of nations. Pardons, amnesties, and other forms of exculpation for war crimes open doors to future abuses when states contract private military and security companies for inherent state functions. Now, as many legal scholars have certainly noted that there are limits to the pardoning power of the U.S. president. As I said previously, he can pardon domestic crimes. He cannot pardon international violations of laws, including international treaties, which are treated as the supreme law of the land according to the U.S. Constitution. That same U.S. Constitution that many of these mercenaries claim to be in such great support of, that the right wing claim to be in such great support of, yet they seem to violate it quite often enough. Now, there are very serious and grave consequences for this precedent being set, meaning that from here on out, anybody who commits a crime in the name of empire, as long as they're a private contractor and not someone who's a member of the U.S. military, they're free to do whatever it is that they want. And that has been the case thus far. The use of mercenaries in many wars, and particularly the Iraq War, in which it was the most commonly used form, more so than any other previous war the United States has been in. Those mercenaries have carried out more despicable acts than any others. And the reason that the United States government uses them is because they're not U.S. forces. So therefore, they are not liable for whatever it is that the private company. And there are many mercenary firms, not just Blackwater Z. There's also Triple Canopy and many others. These companies essentially parasitically leech off U.S. tax dollars to commit crimes against what is the global proletariat. And this has always been a way of denying abuses, because any abuse or massacre or anything like that that a mercenary does while in the employment of the U.S. government or contracted to the U.S. government is not responsible. It doesn't show up on official statistics. Any mercenary who dies or any civilian that they kill doesn't get added to any kind of a list, meaning officially it's never happened. And that has always been the reason for using mercenaries, at least in modern wars. So you can see the problem here is that they have a free hand to commit all kind of crimes that they want. However, it's up to the international community to hold the United States accountable for the slaughter of innocent people inside of Iraq. You're going to have a pretty hard time making the claim that this 9-year-old was some kind of a threat. All of the people that were killed were civilians. They weren't jihadists. They weren't any kind of indigenous resistance to the U.S. occupation or anything like that. They simply massacred a group of civilians who didn't want the U.S. and what is termed by many people the horrors of war inside their country, slaughtering off their civilians. So that is an issue that still needs to be brought up before international courts, but I think we have a pretty good idea that justice will never see the light of day in this situation because of the power wielded by the U.S. government.
Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.